Hi everyone, welcome to Primary Market Chatter brought to you by Sunday Investing. This is our December 4th week IPOs. This is a rather light episode. बहुत बड़े मेन बोर्ड्स नहीं है, 4 SME है जिनको हम रिव्यू करेंगे, एक मेन बोर्ड है. We'll be talking about, we'll start with Shyam Dhani Masala, and then we'll go to Dhara Rail, we'll do Bai Kakaji and EPW India, and then we'll also be talking about one main board, which is Gujarat Kidney. So these are the 5 companies that we'll be covering today. Just want to highlight, there are a few companies which we'll not be talking about. It's not because they are not good companies, just that we haven't had the time to go through them yet, or it's just that the space would have become super long. That is why we'll not be covering a few companies like, let's say, दच्ची पाली पब्लिशर्स हो गया, उसके बाद अपोलो टेक्नो हो गया. Definitely आप उनको भी पढ़ें and take a call basis that. In fact, that's a good segue into our 2 housekeeping things which we always have. One, we are not SEBI registered research analyst, so do not take anything on face value. जो भी हम बोले उसमें आप think of it as having some biases and do your own due diligence. और उसके basis पे आप act करें or talk to a financial advisor. We do not understand your situation. You do not understand our situation. So do not go by anything we say on face value. We can be wrong and have been wrong multiple times. So whatever we are saying, just think of it as an information and then you do your due diligence on it and only then act on it. Second, जो भी ये spaces हम करते हैं, we cover the companies in detail and then we post it on our YouTube. The YouTube channel link is in the pinned comments, so you can go ahead and follow the YouTube channel as well. It's at the top. And third, we will be doing all our spaces through the Sunday Investing channel. So if you haven't followed Sunday Investing on YouTube or on Twitter yet, please go ahead and follow the host Sunday Investing channel. इसी से ही हम सब कर रहे होते हैं because my channel used to get really restricted when I used to post a lot of YouTube links, etc. So I've kind of posted through this channel. But yeah, that is with respect to today. We'll probably start with Shyam Dhani. But again, want to highlight that there are a few companies which we are not covering in this space. That's not because those are bad companies, just that we haven't read them yet. With that, let me set up Shyam Dhani very quickly and get started. Incorporated 1995, company एक ISO certified company है and manufacturer, exporter and wholesaler and supplier है of premium spices powder, whole spices, etc. It processes 163 varieties of spices, including ground, blend and whole spices under the brand name Shyam. तो शाम स्पाइसेस करके इनकी कंपनी के मसाले आते होंगे. आईपीओ की बात करूं तो 38.5 करोड़ का आईपीओ है, लगभग 40 करोड़. ऑल ऑफ विच इज अ फ्रेश इशू. मार्केट कैप 145 करोड़, 145 करोड़ पे कंपनी आ रही है. सो 26.5% का डाइल्यूशन है. FY25 फाइनेंशियल्स की बात करूं तो रेवेन्यू 125 करोड़ है, पैट 8 करोड़ है. सो अराउंड 17 times FY25, FY26 we have almost, we should start looking at some of the FY26 numbers because now we are firmly 9 months in FY26, right? So FY25 is slightly aged now, but ठीक है, FY25 पे 17 times है, तो FY26 we'll see. In terms of the LM is Holani Consultants, which is a decent reputed name in the industry. So with that, over to you, Sachin, to talk about Shyam Dhani.
Am I audible?
Yep.
Yeah. All right. So this Shyam Dhani, so they were primarily a family-run business for a long time, and now they have slowly ventured into this private and public limited, and now for the IPO they are coming. These भी करते हैं, drying भी करते हैं, grinding भी करते हैं, and they procure all the raw material from the farmers. And some trading also they are doing in this all this masala segment, and then they make these consumer packets 5 gram to 10 gram, 1 kilo, 1.5 kilo, 2 kgs, etc. up to 25 kgs, and then they market it under their Shyam brand. So this is their primary business. What they are doing is they are into this ground spices, chili powder, turmeric हो गया, blend spices भी हैं, garam masala, pav bhaji, etc. They are also selling some grocery items, poha, kasturi methi, black salt, etc. So all of these are part of their offerings. And they are saying that they have one facility which is located in Jaipur, and mostly now it is running on automated operation, and that is where all of this processing is going through. What they are saying is, despite their regional presence, they are having almost more than 400 plus distributors across that are serving in primarily in North India, but they are also saying we are spread across India as well. And slowly they are venturing into international markets as well. They are also saying that we are coming with more supplies into this JioMart, DMart, Reliance Retail, etc. That is part of their modern trade and this e-commerce platform. And they have also partnered with Blinkit and Swiggy for some of their offerings. For the export part, they are saying that currently we are only doing private label, and slowly we are just targeting. For now, we are targeting this Middle East and Dubai market, and slowly we would also target this USA based market where Indians are living, USA and UK as well. So what currently their production facility is being utilized around 33 to 35% in FY25. And they are also saying that we have one approved lab as well, in-house lab that they have, and where they bring in all these raw materials, they test for the quality, and then they go for processing. They also mentioned that we are into this IPM technology, integrated pest management technology, where they say that we are using less chemicals, so only the organic part is going into the production of these raw materials and then onto the final spices. But that IPM part is very negligible in their revenue, so very low fraction, only 1 to 2% only. So they are more reliant on this मंडी ओनली, मंडी के ऊपर ही उनका पूरा ज्यादा फोकस है, उसी पे वो रिलायंट है, जयपुर में जो मंडी है, rather than this IPM thing where they are saying that we are using less chemicals and all. Now coming to their financials, in FY23 they did 68 CR of revenues with around 3.5 CR of PAT. In FY24 it was 108 CR with 6 CR of PAT, just the double PAT. In FY25 the revenues were 125 CR with 11% EBITDA and around similar PAT margin, 6.5% PAT margin. Till H1 of this year, they have did 64 CR of revenues with some improvement in the PAT margin and EBITDA margin as well. Now, what they are saying for future, we are looking to expand more on pan-India basis, and also we are using these IPO proceeds to maybe lower our these power costs by setting up the solar system, etc. And now some risk that I saw in this business were they are saying that we are exporting to this Middle East, etc. But that is very minimal for now. Around 1.5 to 2% of the revenues is only exports, and they have for quite a long time now, 2 to 3 years, they have some good debt on the books. And even after repaying the IPO, the debt would be high, around 35 to 36 CR on the books would still remain. Some of it is long and some of it is for their working capital. So that is one thing. Also, whatever they're saying, both in these spices, whole spices, etc., they have launched more than 300, 350 plus SKUs. So I feel that there is more diversification that is needed currently with so many SKUs. So focus यहाँ पे चला जाता है फिर what to focus, what not to focus. In the recent past, they also had some related party transactions. Around 26-27% of their purchases were from their own related parties as well, which is now suddenly down to 9-10% just before the IPO, which they have said that we are doing at arm's length, but let's see. Also, they said that some of their trademarks, or not some of them, around 70-75% of their trademarks have gone into objections. So none are accepted, only few are accepted only at this stage. So that is also something to monitor going ahead. Now coming to the IPO usage, around 1.6 CR is for new machinery that they would incorporate in their existing plant, and that should come live in the Q1 of next year. They are saying that 10 CR we would use to repay the borrowings. Also, they said that around 6.5 CR we are using for this branding and marketing, where they will onboard Preeti Zinta for 2 years from the starting of FY27 to launch and market their products pan-India basis on nationwide campaign. And the final 14 CR is for working capital, and around 60-70 lakhs is for that rooftop solar plant. Given what they are projecting, around 25 to 30% growth, whatever they are projecting as per working capital estimate, it's probably around 13-14 times FY26 and 17 times FY25. Madhusudan Masala is an apple pear, just similar to this Shyam Dhani. They are trading in the similar range on trailing basis, around 12-13 times, and they have the similar growth profile as well, 25-30%. Lead manager here though is Holani, so they have a good record, and their good record flows into the listing as well. that is seen in recent issues as well, like that Infinity Info which came in. Now the surprise here was the anchor list, which for the first time had that SIDBI name, SME bank name came in, along with Holani themselves that were part of the anchor. So coming to the final thing, I think that shortage to है नहीं इस segment में, be it spices or whole spices or those grocery items, and at times ये सब it's more like a regional play where we all these pan India giants like MDH, Everest, etc. So for this going into a national wide campaign and taking on marketing and spending and hiring those celebrities, it does not make sense now, but maybe let's see if they can crack it. Also, I think that the IPO valuations are not very low, so to make something meaningful of what they are coming at for the IPO. But since the lead manager is Holani is present, so that flows down to what has happened earlier. So personally, would be applying some only for listing purpose.
I like how you have ended this. I remember Infinity Info where maybe you had mentioned how there were a lot of related party transactions, but then it happened what it happened, right? एक बार ये बताओगे मधुसूदन मसाला कितने पे ट्रेड करता है? That would be a good peer for this, right?
Around 12-13 times ही है similar trailing basis when forward पे जाएं तो probably below 10 times.
तो ये भी वहीं कहीं है, right? But फिर भी
हाँ
short
but
term में तो बहुत भी possible है.
yeah.
Got it. ठीक है, I will definitely be applying to this issue for short term. And again, this is rather like, and then see, I feel there will be a lot of frenzy for this issue, which we'll be seeing from tomorrow itself. But yeah, again, long term, not interested in this company because again, it's a super competitive segment when, like, as Sachin mentioned, difficult for someone to break the domestic barrier and try and build something, a nationwide brand out of it. But yeah, very interesting how lead managers' repute also matters so much in SME IPOs. That's just the fact, whether we believe it or not. But at least in the short term, it matters. I'll be applying to this issue. With that, maybe let me move forward and talk about the second company. The second company we'll be covering is EPW India. Setting it up, incorporated in 2021, company procures laptops, desktops, Chromebooks, and peripherals, refurbishing them to new condition and selling them directly to end-use customers. So refurbishment की कंपनी एक बार बात करेंगे आईपीओ की तो आईपीओ साइज 32 crores है all of which is a fresh issue. It's coming at a market cap of 111 crores. FY25 financials की बात करें तो revenue 53 crores है, PAT 4.33 crores है. LM की बात करें तो LM is get five advisors and FY25 पे around 28 times आ रही है, but FY26 पे देखनी पड़ेगी. And LM rather new, दो कंपनी आ चुकी है इनकी, which have done decent. I think one has definitely done decent and then one came like a week ago only. Get five advisors. So setting up the company, I'll be quickly talking about it. So it was incorporated in 2008 as Exclusive PC World करके एक शॉप खोली थी यूसुफुद्दीन जो प्रमोटर है उनने in Hyderabad. EPW essentially stands for that Exclusive PC World and they used to sell first hand like new laptops, desktops at that moment of time per se, but then over a period of time transitioned into refurbishment and recycling of laptops and desktops and it started this specific company in 2021 as a provider of refurbished IT electronics focusing on desktops, laptops, workstations, servers, LCDs, all-in-one PCs, accessories, etc. And Telangana based है, authorized refurbisher in Telangana में. And this theme in itself is super hot, right? We had seen GNG had also done well after listing, and like listed also well simply because there is a lot of space for recycling and refurbishment of IT equipment simply because we are churning so much of IT equipment that it just makes sense to keep changing it. And they sell mostly in B2B and B2C model both around 60 to 65% of their business comes from refurbishment, which is essentially जो भी ऐसा होता है जो इनको लगता है कि ये ठीक करके वापस बेच सकते हैं. And 35 to 40% comes from recycling, which is जो भी dead stock वगैरह होता है जो कि is not usable, like is dead beyond repair, बस है उसको वो रिसाइकल कर देते हैं एंड फिर उसको आगे बेच देते हैं. So the idea is they have a team of like 30 engineers I think who is able to who like ये bulk में procure करते हैं lots में and this procurement is from your like let's say major IT players. Hyderabad is a hub for a lot of IT sector industries, right? तो उनके जो भी लैपटॉप्स वगैरह पुराने हो जाते हैं एक्सेट्रा वो उनको बल्क में प्रोक्योर करते हैं. उसके बाद उसको सॉर्टिंग करके कुछ कुछ रिफर्बिश जो पॉसिबल है 55-60% उसको रिफर्बिश कर देते हैं, बाकी को रिसाइकलिंग के लिए भेज देते हैं एंड उसके बाद जो रिफर्बिश हो जाता है उसको आगे बेच देते हैं. सो नाउ हु वुड बी द पीपल हु विल बी बाइंग इट? सो इट्स अगेन बोथ B2B and B2C. In B2B, you have like schools, non-profit organizations, etc. They government institutions, etc. Government, in fact, is a like provider वो जब उनके पुराने हो जाते हैं. But you have players like schools, etc. who buy these products from them because these products are like quite cheap compared to the original new laptops per se. And then they also sell through B2C. They have like 6 stores in Telangana, and through that they sell, and like for 40% of their business is to retail customers who walk in stores and buy online. Online they have very minimum presence as such. Most of the revenue comes from is very concentrated in Telangana. Telangana se aata hai around 70% and then 30% comes from other states. They mostly do laptops only, don't do mobiles, etc. Mobiles in itself is a very different segment, but they do laptops and desktops. Laptops 40% type laptops, desktop accessories वगैरह बाकी सबसे. So it's a very interesting business that it's a very ground down business. Like you need an operating promoter who understands this business, and this business is slowly moving towards organization from a unorganized play. Earlier it used to be completely वो कबाड़ वाले जो होते थे ना, they used to manage it, but now with government bringing EPW बोल रहा हूँ यार, sorry, extended producer responsibility, EPR, government bringing EPR frameworks, etc. This is slowly changing in the it's a good market to be in. And right now, like before IPO, they have acquired a company called Renovate Recyclers in 2024, because of which they have added their capacity quite a bit. तो इनकी capacity पहले 1500 metric ton थी, which they have now increased to 4000 metric tons for refurbishment through their subsidy, and they are also expanded capacity for recycling as well. So it's an interesting play. 2-3 things to look at. Like अब नई capacity आ गई है, working capital IPO से आ जाएगा. So they are raising like 32 crores, which I said 6 crores is for debt repayment, debt repay कर देंगे. 20 crores is for working capital for EPW, and remaining 6 crores is for expansion in Renovate. तो काफी पैसा घुमाने के लिए आ जाएगा, वर्किंग कैपिटल आ जाएगा एंड कैपेसिटी है. व्हाट फर्मली कम्स डाउन टू इज डिमांड. वुड दे बी एबल टू जनरेट इनफ डिमांड टू बी एबल टू सेल इट? बट स्टिल इट्स अ कंपनी which can grow very very fast. Like this is one of those I feel underdogs which can probably trade flat or something and then give spectacular results and then do well or something like that. But yeah, it's an interesting play. In terms of the IPO, how it is priced, I'll probably talk about the financials a bit. तो FY25 में जैसे मैंने बताया 53 CR का टॉप लाइन किया था कंपनी ने एंड 4.3 CR का बॉटम लाइन किया था. FY25 में 6 months में 44 CR का टॉप लाइन किया एंड 4 crores का बॉटम लाइन किया है. सो अगर आप उसको एनुअलाइज कर दोगे, विच वुड बी अ गुड वे टू लुक एट इट, because उतना तो आना चाहिए I feel. So they are coming at like somewhere around 15 times and like inka top line would be somewhere around 60 TTM. I was looking at GNG as a comparison, although that's a lot more bigger. On that company had done like 1200 ka top line and was then trending 1400 ka top line and was trading at 3400 CR top line, so 2.5 times sales. तो अगर आप उस हिसाब से इसको देखोगे तो they have left some space on the table. They have left some 15-20% space on the table. I feel this is one of those companies which is sort of a underdog in the play and can go slightly muted, and there can be some move after consolidation, etc. This is a very interesting space. I kind of miss not having Rohit for this review simply because Rohit understands the space a lot, but I have done some justice. I'm hoping by being a bull on the refurbishment space, as Rohit is. But yeah, I would be applying to this issue. I'll see in what capacity, probably in a limited capacity, because I'm not expecting this to be crazily subscribed. So I'm hoping allotment would be rather easy in this one. But I'll be applying to this issue. What we have also done is we have also spoken with the promoter. We will be putting the promoters. Know Your Promoter Series video on the channel tomorrow. Definitely go ahead and listen to that as well tomorrow and then take a call. But yeah, that is with respect to EPW India. I'm just seeing if there are any questions or if you guys have anything to add. Yeah, question is New Jalsa direct PR? No, not really, because New Jalsa was majorly selling into e-commerce. They were trying to sell on e-commerce through Amazon, etc., and then Amazon stopped the selling of their laptops, etc., online, second-hand laptops. So their sales kind of completely dropped. These guys are more of a family-run business per se, versus these guys sell offline and they have offline channel setup for this, versus Newjesa, which is majorly in online play and sell through Amazon. Newjesa was majorly dependent on Amazon, which now have closed selling of these laptops, etc. So with that, maybe we'll now move forward and talk about the third company. The third company we'll be talking about is Bai Kakaji Polymer. I'm just seeing once I've added Tanmay, I can just set up. Bai Kakaji, yeah. Setting up Bai Kakaji Polymers, incorporated in 2013, companies engaged in the manufacturing trading of a wide range of plastic and polymer-based products, primarily plastic granules, plastic caps, and closures used in packaged drinking water, carbonated beverages, juices, and dairy products. So, plastic granules की company है, बड़ा IPO है, setting up the IPO, it's a 105 crore IPO, all of which is a fresh issue, पूरा 105 crores ये आईपीओ में रेस कर रहे हैं फ्रेश में एंड एट एम कैप ऑफ 400 करोड़ का एम कैप है। FY25 फाइनेंशियल्स की बात करें तो 332 करोड़ का टॉप लाइन है एंड 18.5 करोड़ का बॉटम लाइन है, सो इट्स कमिंग एट लाइक 22 टाइम्स FY25। इन टर्म्स ऑफ द एलएम इज हेम सिक्योरिटीज, so हेम का आईपीओ है, so which has a decent reputed name in the industry. So with that, over to Tanmay to talk about Bai Kakaji Polymers.
So I guess your voice in the last was not audible to many users and even to me. So वो शायद बाद में cover कर लेना. So I'll just start on Bai Kakaji Polymers. So it's a Latur Maharashtra based manufacturer and also does trading of plastic and polymer based products. Also does shrink and adhesive films. So जो आप ये रैप करते हो ना वाटर बॉटल्स के लिए, जो अपना बिस्लरी का वाटर बॉटल होता है उसमें जो फिल्म रैप होता है, इसका भी ये मैन्युफैक्चरिंग करते हैं और बेचते हैं. एंड देयर प्रोडक्ट्स आर प्राइमरी द कंपनीज प्रोडक्ट्स इंक्लूड्स पेट reforms, plastic caps, closures, catering to industries like packaged drinks, drinking companies, water companies, carbonated beverages, juices, and dairy products. The company has got 4 units all in Latur, Maharashtra, with somewhat around 33,000 square meter. In terms of revenue bifurcation, the PET polymers, contribute to 65% revenue. Plastic closures contribute to 26%. Shrink films contributes to 7% and others at 1.23%. अगर आप इनका यूटिलाइजेशन देखो तो somewhat around 80-85% utilization on the blended level. Hopefully I'm audible, right?
Yes, audible.
हाँ. So अगर आप चारों फैसिलिटीज का ब्लेंडेड यूटिलाइजेशन देखोगे तो 80-85% के बीच में आना चाहिए. The company is raising 105 crores, so quite a big IPO. So out of which they are repaying 64 crores का debt, total 109 crores का debt है as on H1 end. तो 109 में से 64 crore they will be repaying. 13 crores is towards capex for installing a new solar power plant. 9.8 crores capex towards purchasing of additional plant and machinery in the existing units, and rest 18 crores is for general corporate purposes. लेकिन इनके फाइनेंशियल्स की बात करें तो FY23 the company did 272 crores का revenue and 4.2 crores का PAT, which inched up to like 8% to 295 crores का top line in FY24 with 9.4 crore का PAT. In FY25, they did like 9-10% top line growth to 326 crore revenue and 18.4 crores का PAT. So like typical IPO company की IPO से पहले margins बढ़ जाते हैं. And so in the Q1, 162 crores का revenue and 12.8 crores का PAT. So आप इनका मार्जिन का ट्रेंड देखें तो FY25 में इट वाज समवट अराउंड 10% EBITDA व्हिच हैज गॉन टू 15% इन योर H1, जो मुझे नहीं समझ आया व्हाट वर द रीजंस. पैट भी अच्छा खासा 5.6% का ऑलमोस्ट 8% बढ़ के आया. यू नो इसका अगर आप इसका वैल्यूएशन देखें तो इट इज एट समवट अराउंड 398 crores, मतलब एज गुड एज 400 crore का मार्केट कैप है. सो ऑन FY25 इट इज कमिंग एट 21.6 टाइम्स. 26 पे 14.5 से लेकर 15 टाइम्स है TTM बेसिस प्लस 5% नो सीजनैलिटी इन द बिजनेस. एंड 27 पे इफ आई जस्ट सेव दैट ऑलमोस्ट 6 crore का डेट रीपेमेंट का इंटरेस्ट कॉस्ट सेविंग एंड might be solar power should contribute like 2-3 crores का saving and another utilization should inch up from like 81 to 86 87. तो वैसा अराउंड 12 के टाइम्स पे आ रहा है. 12 टाइम्स 27, 14.5, 15 टाइम्स 26. इसका पियर्स देखे तो इन्होंने तो दो दिखाए, उसमें से एक पियर इसका है बट दैट हैज गॉट सम डिफरेंट रीजन. कूल कैप्स इंडस्ट्रीज उस पर आप कंपेयर नहीं कर सकते हो. द पियर इज टेक्नोपैक विच ट्रेड्स एट 10 PE FY25. तो मतलब पीयर के हिसाब से तो महंगा है, बट ऑल्सो रिमेंबर कि उसका साइज ऑफ द कंपनी इज ऑल्सो क्वाइट स्मॉल. एंड बाई काकाजी पॉलीमर्स इट लुक्स एसएमई बट टेक्निकली इट इज अ मेन बोर्ड काइंड ऑफ अ कंपनी. मतलब बहुत बड़ी सा ऐसी कंपनी है. अगर आप कैप्स और ये सब ऑलमोस्ट लाइक 300 crores 400 crores का बेच रहे हो तो मतलब वॉल्यूम ऑफ बिजनेस इज क्वाइट लार्ज. आई मीन का कुछ और पॉइंटर्स का बात करें तो some around इनका I guess 75% revenues comes from Maharashtra and Gujarat and Karnataka contributes to another 15%. बाकी 10% is in various different states, so geographical concentration है. उसके बाद I was seeing its other income part. तो it was in FY24 it was 1 crores which went up to 5 crores in 25 it went to 5.5 crores in just H1. तो ये कुछ DIC सब्सिडी है. सो आई डोंट नो व्हाट इज द सब्सिडी, ये कितना सस्टेन करेगा बिकॉज दैट इज ऑल्सो कॉन्ट्रीब्यूटिंग टू द बॉटम लाइन. इन पे 3.5-4 crore का टैक्स लिटिगेशन चल रहा है. प्रमोटर्स के अगेंस्ट 2.7 crores का है. कैश फ्लोज हैजंट बीन दैट कंसिस्टेंट. पॉजिटिव है बट दे आर नॉट मच कंसिस्टेंट व्हिच इज ओके. बाकी ओवरऑल यार इस कंपनी का देखू ना, बिजनेस इज मतलब कहते हैं ना वो एवरग्रीन बिजनेस है. स्टेडी कंपाउंडर लाइक 10% काइंड ऑफ अ कंपाउंडिंग स्टोरी. बट ग्रोथ इसका 26 में तो म्यूटेड आना चाहिए. रीजन बिंग 81-82% की यूटिलाइजेशन पे 85-86 तक चले जाएगा, उसके ऊपर नहीं जा पाएगा. एंड ऑल्सो इन द H1 अगर मैं TTM में नंबर देखू इट इज लाइक काइंड ऑफ 8-10% ग्रोथ. तो 8-10% growth in a sector like packaging, that also into this pet stuff and caps and closures. तो I'm not sure market को इसमें कितना interest आएगा. मतलब it's a good company but such companies are never much liked by the markets. तो I won't be taking a call on the listing as well as for the long term. I would just be very neutral on this company. At least I am not fan of this sector. तो मैं बहुत इस पे इन्वेस्ट करना चाहूंगा. So I won't be investing in even in the short term. tomorrow anchor book जो आएगी that should be very important to be देखना चाहिए कि कौन कौन इन्वेस्टर्स आ रहे. बट एटलीस्ट I'm not much excited towards the company. अच्छी कंपनी है बट स्लो ग्रोथ है. बहुत बड़ा बेस है. इतने बड़े बेस इंडस्ट्री लाइक दिस ग्रोथ करना इज नॉट इजी. सो आई वुड बी मोस्टली स्किपिंग द IPO.
Got it. Thank you, Tanmay. Can you hear me? Can you guys hear me?
हाँ, आई कैन हियर यू.
ठीक है. I haven't read the company. We'll look at anchor book, etc. I might apply for short term simply because allotment might be easy and I feel listing should be protected is what my hope is. Again, this is one of those episodes where LM repute is also mattering a lot compared to company fundamentals per se. So we'll see how the anchor book comes and how is the hype, etc. But it's a big IPO, so I anticipate the retail, etc. My allotment should be not super difficult simply because other IPOs are also there. So just one thing all of these IPOs are clashing because 24th को बंद होकर 26th को वापस यूज नहीं होगा क्योंकि 25th को क्रिसमस है. So the markets are off that day, right? So you won't get a refund. So all of these IPOs are clashing, because of which the ones with the highest GMP, which is your Shyam Dhani, I'm assuming, would take a lot of subscription, and then the others would have rather easy allotment chances in some of them, like Apollo Techno or this Bai Kakaji or Dhara Rail with that. Moving forward and talking about the fourth company, Dhara Rail project setting up it up, incorporated in 2010. Companies are ISO 9001 2015 certified company, providing various services like AMC, annual maintenance contract, and repairing service for railway rolling stock systems. सो रेलवे की सर्विसेज प्रोवाइड करती है, वेंडर है उसका, ये धारा रेल प्रोजेक्ट्स करके जो कंपनी है. सेटिंग अप द आईपीओ, इट्स अ 50 करोड़ आईपीओ, 50 करोड़ का आईपीओ है, पूरा फ्रेश इशू है. मार्केट कैप 190 करोड़ पे आ रहा है. FY25 फाइनेंशियल्स की बात करो तो रेवेन्यू 48 करोड़ था और पैट 6.5 करोड़ है. सो एटलीस्ट ऑन FY25 तो महंगी है, 30 टाइम्स पे है. But I'm assuming FY26 में कुछ crazy सी growth आ रही होगी. We'll understand when Sachin talks about it. In terms of the LM is again AIM Securities, so a decent reputed name. So what do you, Sachin, to talk about Dhara Rail?
Am I audible?
Yeah.
All right. So this Dhara Rail, they have been into existence from 2009-2010, where they this current company structure, they acquired one Dhara Industries, and then they transitioned into supplying services to this railway projects and infrastructure. So what this company in the current status does is they provide these AMC contracts, repair and maintenance services for this train equipments. उसमें AC आपको fix करना है, within the bogie I am talking about. AC fix करना है, lighting fix करना है. There is power car maintenance of that bogie. Also for the bogie overall and for other wagons etc. They also provide this HVAC services as well. And this contributes to around 50% of the revenues, and as well as for the order book as well. Apart from this, they are also supplying this electrical components that go into the bogie etc. Bulbs, lightings, fans, AC structures as well. So that also they are supplying. For that they are also supplying control panels, generators, lighting, wiring etc. as well. Forms the rest 50% of the revenues and the order books. What they are doing is they are for all of these tenders from that GEM portal हो गया या IREPS का portal हो गया, and then they are securing these contracts and then through L1 status from the tender and then performing these service arrangements. And what they are doing is earlier they were doing pre-bid arrangements with the suppliers of these railways. Like वो पहले से bid lock हो जाती थी. And there they used to subcontract as well some part of the services, but slowly they have transitioned to sole bidder from the portals, and that is one part where they are getting better margins for their services. And then that has happened in this FY24 and FY25 onwards. Now what they are saying is they have an order book of around 143 CR, and that has this AMC contracts as well, which flows down to more than 1, 2 years, 3 years down the line. And there are some short-term contracts as well for the supply and installation of those electrical components for the bogie, etc. They are saying that we will primarily be focused on this railway segment only, railway services, and not going into this metro and other manufacturing, or rather manufacturing of railway components. That they are not going. They will only largely be into the services part only. Now coming to their financials, in FY23 they did around 26 year of revenues with around 4.5% PAT. In FY24 that was around 33 CR with the margin expanded, likely because they started getting more contracts on a sole bidder basis, and the PAT was around 9%. In FY25 the revenues jumped to around 45 CR with around 13% PAT margin, further improvement. Till this H1 they have done around 28 CR, and now the PAT is around 22% plus. So, and with a EBITDA around 33-34% EBITDA they are clocking. So for the margin, as I mentioned that they have said that we are going for direct contracts. Also they are saying that before FY23 and before that we used to take manpower and all of these people जो भी उनको लोग चाहिए सर्विस करने के लिए, that they used to take from subcontractors. Now they are employing all of these on their payroll basis, so that is also helping to improve their margins. But specific mention of how not mentioned, so that is one point to note. To some of the positives that जो liaison है इस industry में, the railway industry, that is there with this company, so that is helping them to some extent. Also they are saying that because of that only they are able to bid for higher tenders as well, around 20 CR plus tender, 20 CR plus value of tenders they are able to bid in, which they are saying that other players will not be able to do. So that is the an edge with this Dhara rail. Working capital, as we know that railway is dependent. So uh, क्या so so working capital cycle is likely stretched around 6 to 6.5 months is the capital cycle, which they are saying that we would likely improve when we go into direct contracts. Now coming to the IPO usage, 30 CR is for working capital and around 7 to 7.5 CR is for this repayment of their borrowings. Now coming to what their IPO pricing is, around 29 to 30 times FY25, where and what they are projecting given their working capital estimates, it's around 15-16 times FY26 if they are able to maintain their margins. No listed peer is available specifically for this service component, because manufacturing में तो है like but in services component, unlisted players are there that are able to bid into similar tenders like this Dhara rail, but listed में there are not very much. Now lead manager here is Hem Securities, so good reputation in the market. Anchor list is yet to arrive, so that is on the watch list when it arrives. So for the final thing, I think that lead manager here is a plus, so that should help at least for the IPO pricing. But then the dependence on these tenders and entirely on railways, so that might not be fruitful at all times. Like working capital cycle में कभी hit आएगा और margins might not sustain or something like that, and some delays etc. भी हो सकते हैं in the tenders. Also, one thing is that there is no peer to compare this company. So that is one thing to see that how market values this, because it is not into manufacturing of railway components but just into services. So I think for short term it might, let's see how it does. I haven't decided yet to apply on personal basis. That's all.
Understood. Thank you, Sachin, for this. Margin बहुत ज्यादा नहीं है for a services business.
Yes.
Like, is it because it's in railways? तो like contract कैसे मिलता है किसी और को? Like कुछ वो अप्रूवल चाहिए होता है आरडीएसओ का, या फिर कैसे रहता है?
वो तो एक तो पार्ट है वो लिएजन वाला जो रेलवेज में वी ऑल नो दैट इज प्रेजेंट. अप्रूवल का दे हैव ऑलरेडी गेन द अप्रूवल्स, तो जो क्रेडिबिलिटी है कि दिस टाइप ऑफ कॉन्ट्रैक्ट्स वो पहले ही सर्व कर चुके हैं, बीट साउथ रेलवे हो गया या एनसीआर रेलवे हो गया, तो वो एक क्रेडिबिलिटी पॉइंट है कि मतलब वो आपके पास प्रायर एक्सपीरियंस होना चाहिए. एंड बेसिस दैट जो भी आपकी फाइनेंशियल कंडीशन है, तो ऑन बेसिस ऑफ दैट दे आर एबल टू बिड ऑन टेंडर्स नाउ on the GEM portal. So वो एक फैक्टर है जिसकी वजह से margins are improved. But how sustainable are these is one question. That is pertinent question.
Yeah, that's a very, very big question, right? Because the margins of 25% for a services business seem slightly high to me.
Yes.
But yeah, short term again, I feel listing should be protected. This is that week where a lot of IPOs are there where listing would be protected, but don't know on the upside. Yeah, with that, moving forward, एक और मेन बोर्ड की बात करेंगे, उसके बाद we'll try and come back with a list of what we are planning to do with our strategy, because I understand there are a lot of questions with respect to that as well. The last company we'll be covering is Gujarat Kidney and Super Specialty. Setting it up, incorporated in 2019, company specializes in providing multi-specialty healthcare services, including secondary and tertiary care across multiple locations in Gujarat. It operates 7 multi-specialty hospitals and 4 pharmacies with a total bed capacity of 490 beds. So हॉस्पिटल चेन है गुजरात का, गुजरात किडनी. सेटिंग अप द आईपीओ, इट्स 251 करोड़ आईपीओ, ऑल ऑफ व्हिच इज फ्रेश इशू. 250 करोड़ का आईपीओ है. मार्केट कैप 900 करोड़ पे आ रहा है. रेवेन्यू की बात करें तो 40 करोड़ का टॉप लाइन किया था इनने FY25 में. पैट 9.5 करोड़ था. सो एक्सपेंसिव 100 पी ऑन FY25. आगे समझते हैं, बट then we will talk about it. I think this should not take a lot of time as well. But yeah, in terms of the LM is rather new. Nirbhay Capital Services करके LM really Nirbhay in bringing this IPO. But yeah, with that, over to Tanmay to talk about Gujarat Kidney.
मेरा आवाज ठीक है?
Yes.
So the review should be rather short, but यार मतलब I don't understand LM का नाम निर्भय कैसे, मुझे तो बड़ा भय लगा है कंपनी पढ़ने के बाद. मतलब no. So Gujarat Kidney and Super Speciality Limited is a Incorporated in 2019 is also important to mention. It's a regional healthcare company operating in central Gujarat. It operates a chain of mid-sized hospitals. The company has 7 hospitals in which they also have like 4 inside these hospitals. तो मुझे पता नहीं कि समझा नहीं कि इनको अलग से क्यों मतलब मेंशन किया, बट फाइन. At this point, the company has an aggregate bed capacity of 490 beds, out of which 340 are operational at this point. The company has got 2 hospitals in Vadodara, 2 in Bharuch, 1 in Borsad, 1 in Anand, and 1 in Godhra. But you also need to look कि ये कंपनी बनी कैसे है. नो, दिस इज ऑल्सो अ गुड स्टोरी टू नो. इससे थोड़ा बैकग्राउंड आ जाएगा. सो earlier all these hospitals were individually working as an sole proprietor or LLPs and separate corporate entities. But what has happened is all these entities have consolidated. मतलब धीरे धीरे करके consolidation हुआ इनका. Earlier there were 2 hospitals, फिर वो acquire करते गए. So all these hospitals are separate entities. एंड आपको इनका शेयर होल्डिंग भी देखना पड़ेगा, बिकॉज इन वडोदरा 1 हॉस्पिटल गॉट 100%, 1 इज 90%, भरूच में दोनों 51% है. तो फिर धीरे धीरे और कंपनी से पैसा बाहर निकलेगा. द रेस्ट शेयर होल्डिंग इज गोइंग टू गेट बॉट. वन इन आनंद इट इज एट 51%. सो all these are not 100% owned entities, and they are separate entities which are consolidated in a single entity जिसका नाम है गुजरात किडनी. So I'll be talking now on the objects of the issue. The company is raising 251 crores, completely a fresh issue, out of which 77 crores has been allocated towards acquisition of an entity called as Parex Hospital, uh, which has a hospital in Vadodara. So इसका मैं आपको फाइनेंशियल बताता हूँ. FY25 किया इन्होंने 25.8 करोड़ का एंड 2.2 का पैट. सो 37 पी मतलब ऑलमोस्ट 37 पी पे एक्विजिशन कर रहे हैं. दे आर पुटिंग इन केपेक्स टू स्टार्ट अ न्यू हॉस्पिटल इन वडोदरा. 50 बेड का हॉस्पिटल दैट उसके लिए 30 करोड़ है. For 12.4 crores towards payment of already एक ऑलरेडी इनका अश्विनी हेल्थ केयर करके अक्वायर्ड हॉस्पिटल है, उसका जो रेस्ट शेयर होल्डिंग है वो कितना है, 50 या 25 वो क्या होता है वो दिया नहीं. फॉर दैट दे हैव kept 12.4 crores. They are doing acquisition of another entity, मतलब एक existing additional entity, उसका additional शेयर होल्डिंग के लिए और 11 करोड़ they have kept 6.8 crores towards buying of robotics equipment. 1 करोड़ 20 लाख का डेट रीपे कर रहे हैं एंड 100 करोड़ टुवर्ड्स इनऑर्गेनिक एक्विजिशंस एंड जीसीपी. मतलब द कंपनी हैज अ वेरी गुड मतलब दे हैव डिसाइडेड कि हमको ऐसा ही ग्रोथ करना है कि एक्विजिशंस करते रहेंगे. एंड ऑलमोस्ट like 40% of the IPO is this GCP and inorganic. So I felt ki the objects of the issue are rather very loose, matlab, and don't know how has even SEBI approved such kind of loose issue structures. Talking on the financials, so आपको भी फाइनेंशियल्स में ना इसके 2-3 फाइनेंशियल्स मिलेंगे, डिफरेंट डिफरेंट फाइनेंशियल्स. जो आपको सबको दिख रहा है दैट इज अ सेपरेट एंटिटी ऑफ गुजरात हॉस्पिटल्स. मतलब जो ये जिसका आईपीओ आ रहा है ना उसकी एंटिटी है. बट इफ यू जस्ट लुक एट अनऑडिटेड प्रोफार्मा विच इज, उसका मतलब क्या हुआ. अब लेट्स से दे आर अक्वायरिंग पारेक्स हॉस्पिटल. इसका इन्होंने जो 25 का फाइनेंशियल था वो उन्होंने कंसोलिडेट करके उन्होंने प्रोफार्मा में से दिखाया कि अगर इन केस इट वाज अ कंसोलिडेटेड एंटिटी तो इसका क्या फाइनेंशियल्स दिखते, H1 में कैसा दिखता. एंड इवन द रेस्ट शेयर होल्डिंग इन दैट अश्विनी हेल्थ केयर जो और एक है और 2 एंटिटीज है, तो इन तीनों का एडिशनल शेयर होल्डिंग का जो पार्ट ऑफ रेवेन्यूज और प्रॉफिट्स है वो एंड पारेक्स का पूरा एंटिटी का कंसोलिडेट करके जो फाइनेंशियल बनता है, ऑन दैट वी आर गोइंग टू डिस्कस. देयर आर 2 मेजर रीजंस फॉर दिस. फर्स्ट, we'll also understand कि हम post IPO after all the money has been spent में maybe 1-2-3 months वो entity किस तरीके से दिखता है, क्योंकि वो entity पे इसको valuation मिलेगा, not on the current entity. And the second is अगर हम इसको consolidate करके even F23, 24, 25 और H1 पे देखें तो समझ में आएगा कि growth कितना कर रहा है कंपनी at the consol level. Because when you are going to acquire new and new entities, वो 0 से 40 करोड़ 40 से 100 करोड़ अपने को लगा क्या मस्त कंपनी यार, क्या मस्त ग्रोथ कर रहा है, it looks that way. But we need to also understand कि in case the all the statements and all the entities have been normalized, तो उस तरीके उस पे कितना ग्रोथ है. बिकॉज प्राइमा फेसी इट लुक्स क्लियर मस्त कंपनी यार, 0 से 40 पहुंच गया, 40 से अभी 80 दिखा रहा है. तो वी नीड टू लुक एट द कंसोल प्रोफार्मा स्टेटमेंट्स टू गेट अ बेटर पिक्चर. तो मैं आपको वही स्टेटमेंट अभी पढ़ के सुनाऊंगा. FY23, the company did a revenue of 86 crores. So this also has Parex hospitals and the additional shareholding जो 23 में नहीं था, but just to look at a fair picture, we are looking at these figures. 86 crores का revenue था, 6 करोड़ 30 लाख का profit था. 24 में revenue बढ़ा 20% to 104.6 crores and PAT went to 10 crores. FY25 में अराउंड 15% का ग्रोथ है, 220 करोड़ का रेवेन्यू, 15 करोड़ का प्रॉफिट. बट इन Q1 31 करोड़ का रेवेन्यू और पैट 8.6 करोड़ का हो जाता है. मतलब कौन सी निंजा टेक्निक यूज करी इन्होंने पैट सीधा 12% से 25-30% करने में. वी डोंट नो. आई टेल यू वन मोर सरप्राइजिंग थिंग. इनका जो पारेक्स हॉस्पिटल था उसका साल का पैट FY25 का 2 करोड़ है, 2 करोड़ 20 लाख. बट इस कंपनी का अभी 2.5 करोड़ हो जाता है Q1 के अंदर. मतलब साल का जितना पैट तो उससे ज्यादा इन्होंने Q1 में दिखा दिया इन दैट पारेक्स ऑल्सो. तो वी नो इट वेरी क्लियरली कि पहले प्रॉफिट नहीं दिखा रहे थे, अभी IPO है तो उनको प्रॉफिट दिखाना पड़ रहा है. ऑल दैट स्टफ, नॉट टू गो इनटू मच. बट क्या होता है, झूठ बोलना ठीक बात है, बट पकड़े जाना इज अ प्रॉब्लम. दिस इज द फाइनेंस क्लियर बोल रहे हैं कि पहले अलग फाइनेंशियल से, अभी यू जस्ट ड्रेस्ड इट अप टू शो रादर. मतलब पहले दे वर नॉट शोइंग, नाउ दे वांट टू एक्स्ट्रा हाइपर ज्यादा प्रॉफिट्स दिखाने काइंड ऑफ थिंग. अगर आप इसका EBITDA मार्जिन भी देखो, जो FY23 में 20% था, 24 में 20% था, 25 में 24% होता है, बट इट सडनली गोज टू 44% इन Q1, नॉट इवन H1, Q1 में. एंड द पैट गोज फ्रॉम समवेयर इन 12% टू लाइक 26-27%, जो मुझे तो समझ नहीं आया फॉर दिस. बाकी अगर इनका वैल्यूएशंस का बात करें तो ऑलमोस्ट आई गेस 900 करोड़ के मार्केट कैप पे आई है. सो इवन आई एम कंसीडरिंग कि ये जो Q1 का इन्होंने डबल ट्रिपल मार्जिन दिखा है वो सस्टेन भी हो जाता है. स्टिल द पैट इज एट समवॉट अराउंड 30 करोड़, तो स्टिल इट इज एट 30 टाइम्स पी FY26. और बिड्डा पे मैं देखूं तो समवॉट अराउंड 20 टाइम्स. तो यार मतलब मुझे समझ नहीं आ रहा कि पार्क हॉस्पिटल जैसे एंटिटी को 16 टाइम्स में मार्केट ने पीट दिया तो 20 पे कैसे टिकेगा. सो लाइक दिस इज वन ऑफ दोस कंपनीज जिसपे आपको दिमाग ही नहीं लगाना. इट इज अ क्लियर कट अवॉर्ड फ्रॉम माई एंड. एंड मुझे तो ये भी समझ नहीं आ रहा है कि मतलब हाउ दिस एंटिटी कैन ग्रो, क्योंकि 60% यूटिलाइजेशन, यू आर नॉट एबल टू ग्रो इट अप. मतलब एंड आपका आरपॉप भी देखो 10-11 हजार का है. दे हैव गॉट डिपेंडेंस ऑन द आयुष्मान भारत स्कीम्स. यू आर वर्किंग इन अ सिंगल ज्योग्राफी. बहुत ही नई एंटिटी है. द ट्रैक रिकॉर्ड इज वेरी लिमिटेड. द मार्जिन्स आर वेरी क्रेजी. मतलब पहले कुछ अलग थे, अभी मतलब टिल FY25 द मार्जिन्स वेर बिलो द इंडस्ट्री स्टैंडर्ड. अभी वो इंडस्ट्री में सबसे ज्यादा हो जाता है, अपोलो से भी ज्यादा हो जाता है, मैक्स से भी ज्यादा. आई नो द सेगमेंट्स आर वेरी डिफरेंट, द साइज इज वेरी डिफरेंट. छोटे हॉस्पिटल का प्रॉफिटेबिलिटी बहुत ज्यादा होता है, वी ऑल नो दिस. बट एंड ऑफ द डे इट्स अ कॉर्पोरेट एंटिटी जो IPO कर रही है. सो देयर शुड बी सम काइंड ऑफ अ कंसिस्टेंसी कि आपके मार्जिन ऐसे कैसे मतलब कांगरू की तरह उछल ही रहे. मतलब पहले 21% EBITDA था, अब 24% पैट हो गया है. तो दिस आर नॉट इजी टू डाइजेस्ट. तो ये 50 बेड का हॉस्पिटल को आ जाएगा मे बी 27 में. ये पारेक्स हॉस्पिटल कंसोलिडेट हो जाएगा, उसके बाद के मैंने आपको नंबर्स बताया. स्टिल इट इज नॉट चीप. तो एटलीस्ट आई डोंट नो व्हाट इज गोइंग टू हैपन इन शॉर्ट टर्म. द LM इज वेरी न्यू. मतलब एटलीस्ट मेन बोर्ड का तो फर्स्ट ही इशू कर रहा है. एंकर्स वेर एक्सट्रीमली ऑर्डिनरी. मतलब वी मतलब ऑल दीज आर SME एंकर्स एंड आई डोंट थिंक कि दीज आर नेचुरल इन्वेस्टमेंट्स. तो फ्रॉम माई एंड इट इज अ क्लियर कट अवॉइड. एंड मैं इसको ना शॉर्ट टर्म देखूंगा ना लॉन्ग टर्म देखूंगा. एंड आई डोंट इवन एक्सपेक्ट एनी काइंड ऑफ अ लिस्टिंग. अगर छोटे इशू पे कुछ, बिकॉज इट्स अ 10% रिटेल, तो द लिक्विडिटी इज वेरी लिमिटेड. अगर उस पे कुछ हो गया सरप्राइज तो आई हैव गॉट नो आइडिया टुवर्ड्स इट. बट एटलीस्ट फ्रॉम माई एंड, मीडियम लॉन्ग टर्म, शॉर्ट टर्म, इट्स एन अवॉइड.
Got it. I think we have got the word kangaroo की तरह उछल रहे हैं. But yeah, so I will also be skipping the issue. There can be something in short term if it happens, but again, I will be very away from the company. But yeah, that is what we wanted to cover with respect to the companies today. Um, Mainboard पे एक company है Gujarat Kidney, which I will be avoiding, and then on SME we spoke about 4 companies: Shyam Dhani Masala, Shyam Dhani Masala and EPW India. Those 2 companies I'll be applying to. Um, Dhara Rail or Bai Kakaji, I'll look at the anchor list and how the demand is, etc. I think I might apply to them as well. And then there are some other companies as well which are interesting. I'll probably read more to make a final call. But yeah, companies like Nanta Tech, and then and Dachipalli Publishers and Apollo Techno. I'll read more about them. So that is my review. What are you guys planning to do, Sachin and Tanmay? Let's do that, and then we can wrap up the space for today.
I will be applying to Shyam Dhani Limited only because it might be subscribe ज़्यादा ही subscribe होगा. EPW में भी मैं करूँगा and this Bai Kakaji I might think. Let's see anchors कैसे आते हैं. Others तो पढ़ना पड़ेगा भी. Nanta Tech, AdMac, Apollo etc. So let's see.
मेरा ये यार कि मतलब देयर इज नो सच इशू एक्सेप्ट मतलब श्याम धनी हैज गॉट सम अदर फैक्टर्स जिसके कारण इट इज हॉट. बट ऐसे कोई इशू नहीं जिसमें बहुत कूद के अप्लाई कर दूं, कुछ बढ़िया कंपनी आ गई, कुछ बढ़िया जगह छोड़ती वैल्यूएशन वाइज. सो देयर इज नो सच इशू एट दिस पॉइंट. ये जो बी लाइन का जो है अपोलो टेक्नो, वो थोड़ा मुझे ठीक लगा. मतलब हैवंट रेड इट कंप्लीटली, ऊपर ऊपर से देखा, मेरे को ठीक लगी है वो कंपनी. इट इज डूइंग समथिंग स्पेशलाइजिंग. एडमैक मतलब मुझे बहुत समझ नहीं आई. इवन नाइंटाटेक मुझे बहुत समझ नहीं आई. दिस इज बाइका का जी इज नॉट अ बैड कंपनी, इट्स अ गुड कंपनी, बट 10% ग्रोथ है और वैल्यूएशन ऐसा मॉडरेट बोल लो, बट वेरी बिग साइज. इट हैज गॉट एलएम रेप्यूट, नो डाउट. सो टुमारोज एंकर बुक आई विल बी वेरी कीनली वॉचिंग. और EPW, I feel, is a fine company. When I spoken to the management, we should be having, the video should be out maybe tomorrow. It's another fine company, but मुझे लगता है कि शॉर्ट टर्म में ये बहुत नहीं चलेगा. बट स्टिल आई फील देयर इज अ वैल्यू ऑन द टेबल. 10-20% दे सकता है इवन ऑन द लिस्टिंग, बट आई एम नॉट श्योर. मतलब आई जस्ट फील कि हो सकता है बिकॉज इट इज कमिंग ऑन 10 ऑलरेडी कमिंग एट 10p26. यार बाकी कितना ही जान ले लोगे कंपनी का, इतना तो सस्ता दे दिया है. मतलब होपफुली जो नंबर्स वी नो शुड गेट डिलीवर्ड. सो ओवरऑल दिस इज फ्रॉम माई एंड. बाकी मतलब ऑनेस्टली श्याम धन इज द ओनली थिंग टू लुक फुल फोर्स. बट यार वो 800 और 1000 गुना के रेस में रनिस्ट, आई एम नॉट इंटरेस्टेड टू रन. तो मैं इसको थोड़ा बाद में देखूंगा कि कहाँ पे कैसा अप्लाई करना है.
Got it. Yeah, that is with respect to today's companies. Thank you so much everyone for joining. Just one thing, if you haven't joined, followed the Sunday Investing channel, वहीं पे आप follow कर लो. We will be posting the YouTube channel, YouTube link of this podcast there as well. So if you haven't followed Sunday Investing, go ahead and do that. With that, we'll come back next week with next set of companies. Next week should also be light. Not expecting any main boards in the first week of Jan until first week of Jan. Second week of Jan is when some big main board should come back. But yeah, that is with respect.
There is a one main board tentatively should get planned around 30th, but उसका भी कम चांस है. वो आया तो आया, नहीं तो आई फील द फर्स्ट IPO मेन बोर्ड शुड ओपन ऑन 15th और 16th ऑफ जनवरी. से पहले कोई आना नहीं चाहिए. आया तो एक आएगा.
Got it. Yeah, we'll come back. Should be a light.
There's also a 105 crores kind of an SME opening in January 1st week. तो वो भी we'll be having for covering that.
Sure. We'll do that. Yeah, but yeah, with that, thank you so much everyone for joining. We'll see you back again next week. Thank you so much. Bye.
Thank you everyone.
Thank you.